Please note that this content is for adults only. Viewer discretion advised. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe, like, and share. Hello everyone and welcome back to another live stream with me, Grizzly. This is Grizzly True Crime, and we are here because the Chelan County Sheriff's Office has announced that there will be a press conference today to update us on the manhunt for Travis Dicker, which is interesting. Like, I'm hoping that they say, okay, they found him or they caught him. Obviously, we're all hoping for that. It would be dangerous if he's just out and about there. But it's interesting because yesterday they said they were like hot on his tail. They believe that they've spotted him. Right. So I'm like, okay. And now there's already a press conference. Very interesting. I'm looking forward to hear what they've got to say. I'm going to read you this update, and then it's supposed to start on the hour. Now, firstly, I just want to say thank you so much to all my moderators. We only have 6 moderators. We have a small team of moderators, and my goodness, some are in my time zone as well. It's 1 o'clock in the morning for me, and thank you so much, moderators, for being here with us. Now, let me read this to you, and then we'll be on the lookout for where this press conference is happening. I have all the news channels open that previously had the press conference, but Grizzlies, that's you, my community. If you spot the press conference, please immediately send the link to me on grizzlytruecrime@gmail.com, because it's always helpful. Even if I have 10 of the news stations open, you know, sometimes it just doesn't happen on them. It happens somewhere else. So just keep me posted as well. Okay, I'm going to need your help. All right, so Chelan County Sheriff's Office. I'm going to read this to you. It's a little bit of a recap, but if you don't know anything about this case, you can expand the description box. You can also check out part 1 and 2 for the full timeline, okay? Now, Chelan County Sheriff's Office media release. Update 16:30 hours at 6/10/2025. Of course, today is already the 11th. For me, it's the 12th. It says, tracking teams believe they are on Decker's trail. Community support and tips are still needed. Law enforcement have tracked a subject believed to be Decker into Blewett Pass. Is that how we say it? Locals, let me know. Highway 97 area. We are asking for the public, especially those who live or have cabins in the area, to remain highly vigilant and report any suspicious activity. First off, we here at CCSO want to thank the countless hours spent on the search by the men and women of law enforcement from a vast number of agencies across our region, state, and nation. The amount of work that has been accomplished thus far could not have happened without them, and we are forever grateful. Our office recently received a tip from a hiking party who stated that they spotted a lone hiker in the Enchantments area who appeared to be ill-prepared for the trail and weather conditions and appeared to be avoiding others. Tracking teams immediately acted upon the information and spotted a lone off-trail hiker from a helicopter near Kolchak Lake. So Kolchak Lake in this Enchantments area, who ran from sight as the helicopter passed. So obviously those are a lot of clues. I mean, this could be some other criminal or accused criminal. You know, it could be somebody else running or just someone panicking, but it's unlikely. It's probably him, right? The chances are high. So they said additional assets were called to the area while they developed a plan to track the individual. Teams later picked up a trail and deployed K9s to the area, tracking the subject to the area of Ingalls Creek Trailhead on Highway 97. Hikers, if you've been in the Enchantments area within the last week and have seen anything suspicious, please contact the tip line with any information that you may have. Additionally, if you were a solo hiker in the area recently, please contact the tip line immediately with your information so investigators can follow up with you. Then, let me just quickly check. They're starting on the hour is what they said. So please keep me posted, okay, while I read this to you. All right, so they said, while federal agencies lead the continued searches, CCSO detectives remain strongly engaged on the murder investigation, processing evidence and tracking down more potential evidence to build a strong case for prosecution. We want to sincerely thank the hard work of our detective division led by Sergeant Lewis and East Cascades SWAT team led by Sergeant Frank, Sergeant Foreman, and Deputy Eagle, who have put in several hundred combined hours of work since locating Evelyn, Paityn, and Olivia deceased on June 2nd of 2025. Shame. Thank you so much, Keith. Now, for our citizens and communities, we are grateful for the outpouring of support that you've given to all of our members. A special thank you to the Wenatchee Blue Family, Soup Ladies, and other local entities that have provided all the law enforcement personnel with meals, snacks, drinks, coffee, bug spray, sunscreen, and other countless essential items that keep us moving. We also want to thank Governor Ferguson for authorizing the National Guard to assist with the search. For clarification, they are providing air assets to fly in support of the search and logistical support to search teams. CCSO remains steadfast in our commitment to conduct a thorough investigation and the capture of Mr. Decker. United States Border Patrol has taken over operations and command for the search of Mr. Decker. Under their direction, they are continuing to follow up on tips from the community while working closely with other federal entities, while we, along with our regional partners, remain available to assist where it's needed. We ask that the public report tips regarding Mr. Decker's whereabouts to the U.S. Marshals Service via their tip line and website, which is below. If you see Travis Decker, please call 911 immediately and do not attempt or contact to approach him. Anyone with information is urged to contact the nearest U.S. Marshal's Office, the U.S. Marshals Service Communications Center, and here are the numbers on the screen here, 1-800-336-0102 or USMS tips at usmarshals.gov/tips. Then, Sheriff Morrison, along with a representative from the U.S. Marshals Service, will be conducting a press conference at the Chelan County Courthouse stairs on 6/11/2025 at 4 p.m. Thank you so much, Court Lurker. Does that mean I have an email? Thank you so much for the sticker. All right, so let's quickly refresh all the feeds and see if they've started anything. I don't see it there. It's supposed to be starting now on the hour. Just looking. Thank you so much all for being here. Interesting. There we go. Found one. Found it.
All right, we'll get started. Thank you all for coming this evening. My name is Sergeant Joe Eaton with the Wenatchee Police Department. I'm the Detective Sergeant. I'm also a PIO for our agency. This evening, Sheriff Morrison with the Chelan County Sheriff's Office and Chief Jerome Brown with the U.S. Marshals Service will be providing an update on the ongoing investigation involving Travis Decker. At the conclusion of both of their updates, they will be available for about 5 minutes for questions. And with that, I'll welcome Sheriff Morrison.
Thank you, Sergeant. Good afternoon, Chelan County Sheriff Mike Morrison. Again, appreciate all you being here, paying attention. I want to start off as we have in the past, just making sure that we're remembering why we're here. That's for Paityn, Evelyn, and Olivia. Their memories continue to motivate us, continue to inspire our agency to seek justice and be their voice. Our thoughts and prayers go out to their family. We continue to keep in communication with them and make sure that we remind them we have not given up. We've seen the amount of resources that we've deployed over the last 10 days, working with our federal, state, and international partners to ensure that justice is brought for their deaths. So again, I appreciate everyone being here. I want to give an update where we're at with our investigation, how our proceedings are going. At this time, the Chelan County Sheriff's Office is going to deviate our resources back to the investigation, working closely with the Chelan County Prosecutor's Office to ensure our case for murder and kidnapping are ready to go, ready to be presented, while our partners with the U.S. Customs and Border Patrol is going to continue to keep their units on the ground, conducting the search, overdoing the search, while we come alongside them. Our U.S. Forest Service deputy is out with them today, also helping them navigate some of our unique terrain over in the west end of our county. So we have not given up, but we understand that eventually resources start to tire out. This is like a fire that we've seen within our county numerous times. We usually see these teams rotating out after 2 weeks. We understand that we've pushed the men and women of our agency hard, along with the men and women of the Washington State Patrol, FBI, U.S. Marshals Service, Rivercom, our dispatch center also being stressed. So we recognize that we need to be reasonable, need to give them the opportunity to rest up and get ready for the second wave when we come in. Clearly, we understand that our investigation has evolved and it has matured, and with that comes a change in situation, which is going to come a change in tactics. You will see a change in our tactics as we proceed forward. You will not see the amount of resources that we have had out there, but you are seeing a different element of our approach as we continue to track down Travis, following leads, and making it very clear that every single day Travis is out there, he's going to have to aim for perfection. He's not going to be able to make a mistake, because all we need is one mistake and one day to go in our favor, and he's going to be in our custody. So I hope he's watching. I hope he knows that we haven't given up, but you got to be perfect every single day, Travis. We only have to be perfect one day. So we appreciate the community coming alongside us. We cannot do it without the 80,000 plus citizens of Chelan County that have been a constant eye and vigilant force that we do not have at all times. We also appreciate our partners nationally that have come alongside us, assist us in following up leads. And not only nationally, but we've had partners as far away as Australia and Portugal that have done us the favor of being able to spread Travis's face and likeness throughout the globe to ensure that every single person knows near and far what Travis looks like. When you see him, say something to us. We want to find him. We want to bring him to justice. We want to set up the opportunity for him to stand in front of our courts and our judges and face justice and hear the voices of Paityn, Evelyn, and Olivia, whose lives were senselessly taken by evil. That's all it was. We remain committed here at the Chelan County Sheriff's Office with our regional partners, the Douglas County Sheriff's Office, East Wenatchee PD, Wenatchee PD, State Patrol, to continue to pursue justice and make sure their voices are heard. You're going to hear further from our U.S. Marshal partners to kind of elaborate further on how they're going to also assist us in the tracking process. We have not stopped our investigation, and again, we understand that the results from our crime lab processing from the Washington State Patrol, thank you Chief Batiste for your continued assistance on this, are starting to come back. We want to make sure those are properly processed, additional leads and interviews are conducted, and that again, our case is ready to go to court when Travis is brought to justice. So I appreciate your time. I will answer more questions, and I'm going to allow the U.S. Marshal Service to take some further questions from you, the media. But again, I appreciate all of you being here. This is the kind of group effort that's going to take to bring justice to this case. Please make sure you keep their names in your mind and that we bring justice back for those young ladies. Girls is what I've understood the family would like me to refer to them as. But they are deeply in our minds, and we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff. Chief Brown with U.S. Marshal Service, Eastern District, Washington. Appreciate everybody here, being here today. The community support from our law enforcement partners, which the Sheriff has already enumerated, and you as a community has been greatly helpful to us. With that support, we're able to involve ourselves and focus on the fugitive investigation. Part of that is to include deploying our rapidly advancing Manhunt program. That program brings resources from all over to include funding to support your community, the Sheriff's Department, Border Patrol, and all the other resources so we can navigate the terrain and locate and apprehend the fugitive. We will not stop. We will keep going. He just has to make one mistake, like the Sheriff said. We will find him. He will be brought to justice so the community can heal. Thank you.
With that, we'll take about 5 minutes for questions for either two.
Has Decker left any physical evidence behind in areas that you guys have received tips about?
We have found
indicating that it's him.
We have found items that are of interest to us that perceive that it could be Mr. Decker. We've also continued to follow up with some of his friends and family, and we believe that we're closing in on his trail. Again, this just emphasizes the importance. If you see something, say something. We're appreciative of those group of hikers that were up there, had more acknowledged us as our flight patterns were up there. And then just the behavior that we saw from the lone hiker did not match. That was typical with everyone else we were seeing up there. So again, that sparked our interest. We did put a ground unit on there to continue tracking the prints that we had. We continue to track that down in Eagles Creek and up in the Valley High area. So again, we appreciate everyone, even on the back trails. You need to remain vigilant. And again, we encourage you not to approach the subject. He is still considered dangerous, but please, we need as much information and help from the public as we can get. As we've seen in the past with other manhunts, it is going to take a group effort in a community in order to bring this to a conclusion. Yes, ma'am. No, our tactics have still continued. We still have a ground team on there. We have dogs out there that we're tracking leads. We're going through sightings. We're also doing trackings of what we have found with footprints. So nothing has changed from yesterday. We've just started to head in a different direction. So until that time, our ground units are still on the ground. We still have resources within the Chelan County Sheriff's Office pursuing that, and we'll continue to hunt. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely, and I've already been in contact with Kittitas County Sheriff Clay Myers this morning. We know that he has resources on the ground as well. There is nowhere that he's going to be able to go that we don't have units waiting for him. King County Sheriff's Office has already been here assisting us. Snohomish County, been in touch with Okanogan County. We have Douglas County sheriffs in close contact. They have the Grant County sheriff today. He is surrounded. Washington State knows who he is. We're going to continue to be in there, and he's got a lot of ground to cover. Eventually he's going to tire and he's going to make a mistake. We feel pretty confident that it could be him, but again, we're not going to ever go out and say 100% until we have him in our grip. Again, Mr. Decker is going to be able to dictate how this ends. We've encouraged him time and time again to give up, do so peacefully. That's what we're aiming for. But again, Mr. Decker is going to be the one who's going to dictate how this ends. We do not just deploy dogs, just to deploy dogs. They're there to assist us in a tracking process and, of course, to protect the handlers. But he's going to be given the same professional courtesy as any other citizen within Washington State or the United States. We're going to follow de-escalation principles that are followed here in Washington State. We're going to communicate. We're going to do contact and cover, maintain our distance. Our intent is not to hurt or injure him. It is to bring him to justice and make sure that he's in good shape so he can face the trial. Nope. And again, I've said it before, I don't think the motive would even matter. As far as we see it, 3 young girls have been killed. I don't think the motive is going to matter. We're continuing to reach out and talk to different residents throughout the Valley High and the Ingalls Creek area to see if they do have any cameras mounted in their house. Again, the most recent photos we had is what we've shared, and that was a couple days before he went off grid and, of course, was last seen up the icicle.
Have there been any found supply crashes, reported burglaries, and why do you think Decker's now armed?
I don't think any information has been put out that he's armed, but I mean, I certainly feel that he is dangerous. If any of you remember the search that we had about 1.5 years, 2 years ago in Kittitas County, we recognized that subject was raiding campgrounds. He had broken into the Liberty grocery store. So again, if you're out there and you notice that you have a vacation home out there, a campsite, we want you to keep track of your supplies, of your cabins. If you do have things that are missing, even if it's minor items. In that case, in the previous manhunt, we do know they were just taking a couple items out of coolers, but it was those campers that were attentive and realizing how many supplies they had. This could be a way that he could continue his path out there. Terrain. I mean, we have a very unique terrain when you get to the west end of our county. Again, I mentioned it before, 87% of our county is not accessible by road. If you go out there, it's steep terrain. It's heavily wooded. It's not the easiest to access. We have the Pacific Crest Trail, but another unique feature we do have in our favor is that we are a tourist destination. So we have a lot of people out there also recreating on those trails. So we're encouraging them, if you are going to come here, of course, be safe, but help us be those additional eyes and let him know that he has no safe spot to go. We did get a call of a potential subject that was in a residence up in the Valley High area. Based off the information we got from our sergeant that briefed the administration here, that did not come out to be a valid call. But again, we're going to continue to handle every single lead that we get as a valid complaint. New tactics as in searching and or in how we contact people? Okay. So, I mean, anyone that had been following Washington state law over here over the last several years, of course, we have Washington state's de-escalate Washington, which was I-940. And of course, it's just how we contact. I mean, we're going to control our pace when we're out there. We're working on contact and cover officers. We've invested heavily, thanks to our county commissioners and other federal partners, with less lethal tools. Again, we're not looking to injure anybody. We just want to take the subject into custody and make sure he stands trial. You talk about which partners we had? Sorry, getting a little bit of background. Yeah. I did have contact today with some enforcement agents up in Canada. We continue to work with our prosecutor's office on that front. But again, we've appreciated all the assistance we've had internationally and nationally assisting us. I mean, we're a medium-sized agency, and we recognize without the support of our partners federally, state, and locally, we certainly would have a unique challenge that I don't think we'd be able to take on by ourselves. So we're thankful for that. Icicle Road was already opened back up. I know the U.S. Forest Service, who's also been one of our partners we've been communicating with, has put out in their press releases that the Enchantments is open again. Again, we'd encourage people to be cautious when they're out there. It is a very wide open terrain, and now you have the potential of a subject who is perceived to be dangerous out there as well that's unaccounted for. So come prepared and know that if there's lots of other places here in Washington State you could recreate. Of course, we want you to come here and visit Chelan County, but if you do so, please be careful. We appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
Okay. With that, we'll conclude today's press conference. For our media partners that are here, if you haven't, I have a media contact list I'd like to have updated so I can send out the most up-to-date information. Currently, we don't have another press conference scheduled, but do keep an eye out on our social media platforms and upcoming press releases for that information. Thank you all for coming.
Oh man, I was really hoping they're gonna drag him in there. Just like, look what we caught, right? Ugh, shame. Okay, but they are working very hard, trying their level best to catch him. And as the sheriff, Mike Morrison, said, he just has to make one mistake because they're on him. This whole team's on him. Of course, they've got drones, they've got dogs, they're tracking him as much as they can. They said, we'll continue to hunt. The manhunt continues. And they said, he is surrounded. And let me quickly show you here, just on the map, where they were looking. So recently, so the Rock Island Campground is up here, and that is where the girls' bodies were found. I mean, that is still, I cannot imagine what Whitney, the mom, is going through. To lose your 3 daughters like that. Paityn, Evelyn, and Olivia, they were 9, 8, and 5. And if you don't know about this case, then trigger warning. It's upsetting information. They were found near this Rock Island campground with bags, plastic bags over their heads and zip ties on their wrists. And Travis Decker's vehicle was found there. And there were 2 bloody handprints on the tailgate. And they said the handprints belonged to an adult male, but they haven't identified that. They didn't say it is definitely Travis's blood or some other unidentified male. They just said an adult male and non-human blood, which I don't know. Is that the dog? The dog was found at the campsite and not this campground. It was about, we did the coordinates in the previous map time, right? From the probable cause affidavit. He had camped the night before a mile away, just a mile away. And then he went to pick up his daughters, you know, for his visitation rights, and he was supposed to have them for 3 hours and just never returned them. So it's believed, they believe that he's accused of murdering his 3 daughters and now being on the run. My goodness. So I do hope they catch him alive. But basically, we were looking last time at this Rock Island campground and where they've been searching, because I've been monitoring flight radar as well. And I could see, if you go look at my community tab, I've been sharing screenshots on there and also on X if you follow me on there. And man, they were circling around this area a lot, near this Dragon Tail Peak area as well as this McClellan Peak area. And so they're saying, you know, they're searching basically now. If we go to this, what did they call it? Ingalls Creek Trailhead. Ingalls Creek and Valley High. So if you type that in, it's around this area, which is also where they've been flying around this whole time, just searching. Also because they believe that he was spotted by other hikers. So if you see something, say something. If you're in this area, because they believe he's somewhere in this area, and they still think he's alive. That's why this manhunt is active and ongoing. It's been quite a few days now. Today, for many of you, for me it's already the next day. It's June 11th, right? He was last seen on May 30th. So it's been quite a lot of days that he's then been on the run, right? My goodness. Erin says, Kathleen and Pernille are all up at 1 a.m. for us. That is amazing. Thank you so much. Goodness. So this is quite a walk if you just look at it. Obviously, I'm sure there could be other ways to walk it, although this would show the walking path to where he is now is a 12-hour walk. Obviously, it could be quite challenging. And 31.9 miles. Just as it's not saying he's exactly here. It's just that general location. So yeah, they've been searching there. I will continue to monitor, of course, you know, flight radar and see if there's any chopper. There's nothing happening right now that I can see. They've got drones, they've got tracker dogs, they've got everything possible. Of course, we've also been sharing the flyers and everything. So please continue to share that as well. There is a $20,000 reward for information leading to his arrest. And as Sheriff Morrison said, be safe, okay? Be our additional eyes if you go into that area. And they want to make sure that he's not injured. Their goal is not to like capture him and injure him. The goal would be to capture him and bring him to justice, right? So that he can face the consequences of his actions is what Sheriff Morrison keeps saying. Okay, well, everyone, thank you so much for watching the press conference with me. Again, if you want to know more about the timeline, if you want to deep dive on the case, there is a part 1 and part 2 that we've done. Okay, part 1 has got all the backstory and everything and the timeline, and part 2 was a recap of the timeline with new information. I will keep you posted as well. Thank you so much for being here. I wouldn't say that wasn't really a nothing burger. I think there's a lot of updates that they shared in between there. If you just listen to it again carefully, I definitely think, as they said yesterday, they're hot on his trail. They believe that they are on his trail, and that, it could be any day now that they catch him. And of course, we'll be here for it. Whenever that happens, we would like to see that happen so that there will be justice for Paityn, Evelyn, and Olivia. All right, everyone. In the meantime, stay safe. And if you're in that area, if you see something, say something. And I'll see you again very soon. Bye, everyone.